The Galactic Council had been unanimous in their verdict. Dr. Kayla Ren was insane. No rational being would willingly enter the containment zone of Vesh predators, let alone raise their abandoned cubs. The Vesh were apex killers from a death world 3 times more hostile than Earth, with razor-sharp crystalline fangs that could shear through reinforced steel and pack intelligence rivaling most sentient species. Their cubs, even newborns, had been known to kill their handlers in sudden, instinctual violence. But Kayla had never been one to follow unanimous verdicts. She found them in the wreckage of a poacher's ship, for mewing cubs, no bigger than house cats, their mother's body cooling in the cargo hold. The poachers had been after the Vesh's bioluminescent pelts, priceless on the black market. They hadn't expected the mother to fight back so viciously, nor had they anticipated her victory before succumbing to her wounds. The station commander had ordered the cubs destroyed immediately. Standard protocol. Too dangerous, too unpredictable. Kayla filed an emergency override and carried them to her quarters before anyone could stop her. That was 2 years ago. Now the eldest cub, Varthan, stood nearly as tall as her shoulder, his muscular frame rippling beneath midnight blue fur patterned with faint bioluminescent streaks. His siblings, Shen, Q's, and little Tova, circled the laboratory with casual grace, their eyes constantly scanning for threats, even in the safety of their home. "You're late with the feeding," Varthan rumbled in the guttural tongue she'd painstakingly taught him. Their species had no natural language, but they learned frighteningly fast. "Got held up at the council meeting," Kayla replied, hauling a container of synthetic protein. "They want to know why I'm wasting resources on you for." Varthan's ears flattened, the Vesh equivalent of a sardonic smile. "Did you tell them where your bodyguards are?" "I told them you're conducting an interspecies behavioral study." He caught the chunk of food she tossed without missing a beat. "I didn't mention the bodyguard part." It had started small. A low growl when a hostile diplomat got too close, Varthan positioning himself between her and the door when station security inspected her lab. The cubs had formed a perimeter whenever she walked through the station's seedier sectors. They were protecting her, though she had never trained them to. The other species gave her a wide berth. Now it wasn't just fear of the Vesh. It was respect, awe, and something deeper. Humans had a reputation in the galaxy. Stubborn, reckless, and bizarrely capable of befriending creatures that should, by all rights, tear them apart. Kayla was living proof. 3 months after that council meeting, everything changed. The pirate raid came without warning. A small fleet, heavily armed, targeting the station's research wing. They wanted the genetic samples stored in the xenobiology labs. Priceless biological data from 100 worlds. Alarms screamed. Station security scrambled to respond, but the pirates had hacked the blast doors. They moved fast, killing anyone who resisted. Kayla was in her lab when they breached her sector. She heard plasma fire, smelled acrid smoke, and her fingers flew across the terminal, initiating emergency lockdown protocols she knew wouldn't hold. The door exploded inward. 3 heavily armored pirates stepped through. Their leader, a hulking Krex mercenary, leveled his weapon at her chest. "The samples," he growled. Kayla raised her hand slowly behind her. She heard the soft rustle of movement. The cubs, sleeping in the back chamber, weren't anymore. Varthan emerged first, silent as death, eyes blazing with eerie blue light. Shun and Q's flanked him low to the ground, muscles coiled. Even Tova, the youngest, positioned herself protectively in front of Kayla's legs. The lead pirate laughed. "Pets? You think you—" He never finished. Varthan moved faster than anything his size should, jaws clamping around the pirate's rifle, wrenching it aside. Shun lunged for the mercenary's exposed flank. Cracks of plasma fire cut through the walls, but Tova darted impossibly fast, driving one pirate into Varthan's waiting claws. The final pirate tried to flee 3 steps before Shun brought him down. Seconds. That was all it took. Kayla stood frozen, heart hammering, as Varthan padded back to her. His muzzle was stained with blood, but his eyes, intelligent, fierce, softened as he pressed his massive head against her hand. "Safe," he rumbled. "You safe now?" Station security arrived 5 minutes later to find Kayla sitting on the floor, surrounded by 4 Vesh predators who watched the approaching guards with expressions that promised violence if they came too close. The council held an emergency session the next day. They'd expected her to be dead. Instead, they found her giving testimony while Varthan dozed at her feet, siblings arranged in a protective semicircle around her chair. "These creatures," the council head began cautiously, were deemed too dangerous for civilian interaction. Kayla met his gaze steadily. These creatures saved my life and prevented the theft of irreplaceable research. That makes them assets, not threats. They killed 3 armed pirates attempting to murder me. She rested her hand on Varthan's head. They showed restraint, tactical intelligence, and loyalty. Everything you said they couldn't possess. The council chambers fell silent. It was a human trait everyone knew. The impossible ability to find kinship with the galaxy's most dangerous beings, to take something wild and deadly and forge a bond built on trust rather than dominance. What do you propose? The council head finally asked. Kayla smiled. I propose we stop treating intelligence as something that only manifests in species like us. The Vesh are smart, social, and capable of loyalty. They deserve a chance to prove they're more than the monsters you've labeled them. 6 months later, the station approved funding for the Vesh integration program. Kayla became its director, with Varthan and his siblings serving as ambassadors for their species. They said the cubs would kill the human. Instead, they showed the galaxy what it meant to be a pack. And at the center of that pack, teaching, trusting, standing fearlessly among fangs and claws, was a human who never believed in unanimous verdicts. Dr. Kayla Ren's personal log, entry 847. Varthan asked me today why humans aren't afraid of things that could kill us. I told him it's because we've learned that the most dangerous things in the universe often make the best friends, if you're brave enough to give them a chance. He thought about that for a long time, then said, "You gave us a chance. Now we give you forever. I think I'm going to need more tissues. Please follow my channel for more videos. One click from you can change my life."